Welcome to Destination Central. I'm Amy Forrest. Now this week we have got a very special Easter week, catching up with some of our popular picks from previous shows. So if you've missed one of these great businesses, don't go anywhere. One of the popular businesses that we visited at the end of last year is the meat company right here in Matamata. So we thought while we're in town, we'll head on in and see what Easter specials they have on offer. Can you tell me a bit about your store?
We're one of 11 stores. We have the Meat Company in Matamata. We're one of 11 that have formed a co-op to give people better buying power, to give us better buying power to pass on deals to our customers.
So what would be available here for the perfect barbecue for this long weekend coming up?
You're talking barbecues for this long weekend, and our friendly farmer friends are talking rain. So regardless, we obviously got 4 or 5 days off, so we're going to get some good weather in between, and we have everything that you require for your barbecues. Also, we have our hams, our Christmas hams, which are a little bit underrated during the rest of the year. And if you're having family and friends together, what better time to pull out another piece of Christmas ham and have it with your salads for a nice hot summer's day. And
will you be having any Easter specials in store?
Yes, we have Easter pack. This Easter pack is $50 worth of meat, and the value is $40, and you get 6 Easter eggs free with it. We have $10 of steak mince, $10 of our own beef sausages, $10 worth of rump steak, $10 of lamb chops and pork chops. That's $50 value, all for $40. Okay, and just using that, I'd just like to lead in a little bit with that value of that pack. That's 5 meals for $40 for a family. Now, I'm a little bit biased, but being a retail butcher, I see a lot of takeaway stores around town that are perhaps you're spending $30, $40, $50 for one meal. So it's definitely worth having a look at in comparison. Plus, I think the nutritional side of it is far, far superior.
So what else do you have on offer for your customers at the moment?
Okay, well, we've got a promo going from the end of March through to the end of July. And we're giving a trip for 2 away to Surfers Paradise for a winter break when we start getting some cooler weather. And there's airfares and accommodation all paid for. And it's just a thank you for people for shopping with us and asking them to come in and have a look at our new look store, and all they have to do is have a purchase of $25 or more and they're in the draw. Whereabouts
is your store located here in Matamata?
We're right in the middle of Broadway, 108 Broadway. We're next towards a Cafe Florian, and we have a lovely fruit shop next door, and just down from the RD1.
And what hours are you open?
We're open from time we get here in the morning, 5:30, 6 o'clock, till 5:30 at night. And usually Saturdays we're open from say 7:30 through to 2:30.
Yum, this sounds like the perfect way to spend the long weekend with family and friends. So make sure you head down to the Meat Company here in Matamata for a feast to remember. Now our next stop is another Matamata business which was featured on our show about a month ago. Now Monique spoke with Kate about getting the best soil conditions to maximise your yield, and with the latest drought conditions we thought this one was a must to play again.
We've arrived at the Stories Farm just outside of Matamata, about to have a chat with Kate from Abron about how they can help out on the farm. Hi Kate, so what is Abron all about?
So Abron's been founded as a company to help farmers get better results on farm through unlocking the soil's potential. So yeah, we specialise in soil and plant nutrition, and we do offer farm system and dairy nutrition consultancy if that's required as well.
So how does this translate to services? What can you offer the farmer?
So we believe that the soil is the engine room of any farming business. So we have developed a proven system to really create a healthy, sustainable soil base. We use a mixture of scientific testing and visual assessment reports to determine what's required on that farm and put together a program as required. So we provide sound advice to our farmers and ongoing support to ensure that they are gaining the results that we've talked about from their fertiliser program.
Explain to us, what is the Abron process?
So we start by what we call a discovery day. So that means sitting down with the farmer, having a good talk to them, understanding their farm goals, current frustrations and what they feel is limiting their production. and then go through just basic general farm information, and then gather past fertiliser usage and all those types of things. From there we head out into the field and we do what's called a visual soil assessment. So that's a New Zealand standardised way that we can assess the health and the quality of the soil, and also the production and the quality of the pastures as well at that site.
So we're in the middle of summer now. What are some common issues that farmers are having this season?
This season common issues I'll definitely say is operating off a lower milk price. So in conditions like this it makes it a little bit more tougher when you're looking at keeping those cows nicely fed and milking through on maybe a bit more of a pinched cash flow. And then obviously the moisture deficit at the moment is causing a bit of strife for a few guys, but yeah, that's the time of the year, I guess. As a bigger picture type challenges that farmers are facing, certainly compliance and the need to change is obviously on the horizon. So that would be an issue that I'd say that farmers are facing, and a little bit feeling possibly uneasy about how they go about meeting compliance and farming still in a profitable and productive manner.
Is there any kind of withholding period for pasture before the animals can graze?
No, with our fertiliser regimes that we use, pastures and crops are fine to go on post-fertiliser application. I mean, we still use nitrogen and phosphate and potassium and bits and pieces like that when it's required, so depending on the levels that's applied at, typically it's fine to be grazing.
Great, and what about organic farms? Are there options here?
Yeah, we certainly do look after and provide advice for organic farmers, but majority of our client base is certainly made up of conventional farmers that feel that they can just take their farm one step further and get better margins from their inputs to their outputs.
Well, that all sounds really good, Kate. So how can we contact you?
Cool, so the office number 0800 722 766 is a good way to get in contact, or the website has a lot of fantastic information on it, which is www.abron, which is abron.co.nz.
Great, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Well, make sure you get in contact with them to get the best out of your land. Now, stay tuned as we check out some more great businesses from the past and our yummy competition prize. Welcome back to Destination Central's Popular Picks episode. Now, last month we were in Thames and Monique spoke with James from Boots and All. Let's take a look.
We are here at Goldfields Shopping Mall, about to go into Boots and All, where James is going to explain exactly what his business has to offer. Hi James, so when did you first start this business and what was the vision behind it?
Me and my brother, probably about 21 years ago, we were both working for an international company in Auckland. I was actually running 6 shops on Queen Street for Mr. Minute, who have 6,000 shops. We heard about the location in the shop down here, and it was a good opportunity for me and my brother to get away from the fast lane and get back into the country. So we jumped at the opportunity, and 21 years later we're still going.
Now it's quite hard to find a shoe repair place these days. Why do you think this is?
So you've got to change with the times, like the shoes nowadays. You've got to keep up with the modern shoes. Me and Shane have probably got 50 years experience between us, and we've seen the change in shoes, and you've got to modify with it and move with the shoes. Shane's always up for a challenge. We do a lot of jobs which other people probably wouldn't even look at, but we always like a challenge, and we try very hard at what we do.
Now obviously it's not just shoe repair. What else can you offer?
We do key cutting. Shane's actually worked for a couple of locksmiths. Again, we've got 50 years experience between the two of us. We do all sorts of different keys, car keys, house keys. We've even got Walt Disney keys. The engraving side that we do, we're both hand engravers, both master engravers, so we can engrave on the inside of wedding rings, glasses. I've done teeth, fingernails. I'll engrave anything if it stays still long enough, so will Shane. And we really enjoy it because engraving touches people's hearts as well. It's something quite personal.
And Boots and All also makes a fantastic gift store. Where do you source your items from?
I used to do all of the markets, Otara, Avondale, Otahu. I also do all of the gift fairs, and I source quite a lot of my New Zealand greenstone locally, my local wood from local carvers. I will always buy New Zealand made before I'll go out of the country. That's what people really want, is New Zealand made.
A can you tell us a bit more about the greenstone, because you have some very special items in store?
Greenstone's really my love. I'm Irish and Ngāpuhi. When my mother passed away recently, that's what really got me into the greenstone. She left me a little bit of greenstone. Greenstone is 120 million years old. It's the 6th hardest stone in the world, and it touches people's hearts. It's what we call taonga, which is a treasure. I've seen magic in my shop. Unbelievable things that you would not believe. I touch a lot of people's hearts. I don't sell to the individual, and I actually teach a kara care, which is a blessing, so that you can put your own araha, your own love, into the stone itself. And if you do it right, you've got an amazing gift for somebody that you love. We actually do customise it a little bit as well, because we can engrave people's names straight onto the stone.
Can you give us a bit of a background about the pounamu?
There is a stone called tangiwai, which we specialise. This is what we call tangiwai, which is the tears or the heart of the pounamu. Only comes from Poison Bay, and a lot of people revolve around this, so it's an older person stone. We would never sell it to somebody young unless they're like an old soul. So it's very special to us, greenstone, and a lot of people come to us because we do sell beautiful one-off original New Zealand greenstone.
Well, that all sounds amazing. So where can we find you?
We're at Boots and All, which is in Thames and Goldfield Shopping Centre in the Coromandel. You can contact me on jjo'grady45@gmail.com.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, James, and we'll see you soon.
No problem.
So if you need anything from shoes mended, a key cut, or a gorgeous gift, you know where to come.
Wow, sounds like a one-stop shop. And now for something completely different, we went and visited Dixon Homes in Mount Maunganui. Let's see what Monique found out.
Dixon Homes have been admired since 1959, and today Wayne and Keith would be happy to build your new home. So let's go meet them. Hi Wayne, so tell me about Dixon Homes. When did you become a part of the business?
We became a part of the business in October in 2012. But prior to that, Keith and I have been involved with Placemakers as owner-operators, and we've been with them for 20 years. And through that chain, our national sales manager had travelled to Australia, where Dixon Homes originates from, and had come back to New Zealand and had called me and said that he'd just been to see a company called Dixon Homes, and he was very, very impressed with them. We decided that to follow through on what was going on with this particular company, and investigated Dixon Homes ourselves, and the consequence of that, we decided to take on the franchise of that and move on from Placemakers.
And Keith, what is the vision behind the company?
Mainly to go for the first and second home buyers. We're also keen on trying to help young people get into their houses. We've got young children of our own that have tried to get into houses and know what it's like. So we decided we want to give something back to the market that's been pretty good to us.
Now Wayne, you mentioned that Dixon Homes has a strong background in Australia. Can you explain this to us?
Yes, they're very well established and very well recognised by anybody that has lived in Australia. So any expats that have lived in Australia recognise Dixon Homes very, very quickly, or any Australians you speak to, they know about them as well. So certainly well established over there, and we're looking forward to establishing them here in New Zealand as well to that same level.
Can you tell us about your expansive plan portfolio?
Yeah, well, we have 1,600 plans available to our customers in New Zealand, and these plans will go anything from a 2-bedroom house through to a 7-bedroom house. They're single story or double story, and also you can get duplex. A lot of them, especially the 7-bedroom houses, are good for what they call acreage, or the farmlets that we have out there. They have rolled verandas and all that sort of thing, so they really lend themselves to that country style. So there is certainly plenty to choose from. And when they go onto our website, when our customers go onto our website and have a look, they can actually work through a search criteria. So they get the opportunity to put in, whether they want 2 bedrooms or 5 bedrooms, whether they want 2 bathrooms including an ensuite, whether they want a double garage. And as they put all that information in, it actually takes the 1,600 down to maybe 5 or 6 plans. So they're not searching through 1,600 plans to find what they're looking for. They'll actually come down to a small base of plans, which then they can go through.
Fantastic. So how can we contact you?
Just go to our website, www.dixonhomes.co.nz, and all the information's on there for all the franchises throughout New Zealand, so they can find us anywhere.
The other thing they can do is call in and see us and our friendly team at 130 Newton Street, Mount Maunganui, and we'd be more than happy to see them. We have a show home that we're going to be setting up later on this year down in Golden Sands and Papamoa, but by coming into our showroom in 130 Newton Street, they'll also be able to see what we're putting in the houses anyway, because we have a kitchen and a bathroom all set up and all our colours to go with it, so we'll be able to talk them through what is going to be in our houses.
Well, it sounds like you're busy men indeed. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
So if you're in the market for a new home, give the team at Dixon Homes a call. Now, I would stick around if I was you, because after the break, we get inspired by a little wooden creation and we find out this week's scrumptious prize. Welcome back to Destination Central's Popular Picks episode. Now, our next two businesses are based at the Country Originals show home just outside of Tauranga, and Monique caught up with Mike for some feature pieces for your home.
Since 2007, Michael Humphrey has been designing and manufacturing quality furniture from recycled timber. Today we take a look through his workshop and a peek at his work. Now, you have a beautiful gallery here. How long have you been doing this for?
In New Zealand, I've been manufacturing furniture for 6 years now.
What sort of a lifespan does solid wood furniture have, and what's involved in the maintenance?
The lifespan of the furniture is what it's up to you how you look after it. I mean, obviously, timber will last forever. I mean, as it does in a house, basically, until it's knocked down and I use it for furniture. And in regards to looking after, that really depends on what sort of finish you end up having on your table. If you tend to have an oiled or a wax finish, then there's obviously a certain amount of maintenance involved, whereas if you have a lacquer on there, then it's just a general wipe with a damp cloth.
What made you start working with timber, and what are some of the best qualities compared with other resources?
Oh, I think it's just that it's a natural resource, really, and I tend to work mainly with the recycled timbers, only because prior to me having this business, it was always known as a recycled business at this property. So I've just sort of carried that on, but tried to take it a bit more to the next level to get the finish up better and just a higher quality to the piece of furniture. Because you do, with recycled timber products, a lot of them tend to be put together fairly good, but there's obviously a bit more finishing that could be done on some of these items to make them look even better.
Tell us about some of the more memorable projects that you've been a part of.
Well, I suppose they're all memorable, really, because every time I'm making a piece, it's sort of memorable at that time, and it's also for that particular client. So, yeah, so I mean, every time I think of that client, I remember that piece that I actually made for them. And it might not just be one piece, there might be 2 or 3 pieces made for that particular client as well. So they're all memorable as far as that's concerned.
And tell us about the process that you take with each client and how you achieve a desired result.
Well, the client will generally come in and, well, either he'll have an idea of what he particularly wants, or he won't have an idea, and I'll have to end up doing a sketch, a drawing, or going out with the client to his premises, having a look, seeing what other pieces he's got within the house, and trying to go from there.
And where can we find Country Originals?
You can find Country Originals on 514 Cambridge Road in Tauranga, or else you can go to my website, which is www.countryoriginals.co.nz.
And how else can you be contacted?
Or you can contact me by mobile, which is 021 262 0133, or you can email me on info@countryoriginals.co.nz.
Fantastic, thank you so much for your time, Michael.
Thank you very much.
So if you're in the market for some custom-built furniture, you know the man for the job. And right next door is Kevin McCardell, wood sculptor, responsible for these amazing pieces of art. So Kevin, how long have you been a sculptor, and has it always been with wood?
Yeah, I've been a sculptor for nearly 20 years now. 15 of that I've been professional. It's really wood's the only medium that I've really had an interest in. Mainly because of what you can do with a piece of wood, the shapes you can get out of it, the textures you can apply to it. Predominantly I'm using New Zealand kauri as a timber, which I can get in big sizes, and I can make full-size pieces of artwork out of single pieces of wood. I don't have to laminate pieces together, which would give you lines and would actually detract a little bit from the realistic look of the piece of work.
And which sculpture subjects do you enjoy the most?
Mainly I like things that are Kiwi related. I like to reflect the Kiwi lifestyle, and I think you can do that quite well through clothing as well, because it's a very personal thing to most people, and it's a reflection of who they want to portray themselves to be to the world, if you like. So clothing particularly, I think, is probably what I'm known best for.
And do you take on commissioned or made-to-order work?
Yeah, a lot of what I do is commissioned. I do commissions from New Zealand and overseas, but I tend to run more like a carving business, in that I'll carve anything from a 21st key to a trophy to a sign to a piece of artwork. So I'm quite flexible in what it is that I can do.
How much time and effort would one of these pieces take? Give us an example.
Most of the bigger pieces, the jackets and things, you're looking at 5 to 6 weeks. For something like a stockman's coat and hat, you're getting more up to the 2 months, 8 weeks to complete it. And because it's all done by hand with chisels, and then it's all hand sanded, and then after that it's textured as well, so there's quite a long involved process. It is quite slow, but it's about being methodical and doing whatever it takes to get that realistic look at the other end, and so it's something that can't be rushed, so yeah.
And what sort of cleaning and maintenance does this art form need?
Most of my finishes are polyurethane or sanding sealer finishes, which is a hard finish, because a lot of this does end up going overseas. You can't rely on people to maintain oil finishes. So I put a hard finish onto it, which means all you have to do is keep it dusted. There's no ongoing maintenance required with it. It's just best to keep them out of direct sunlight, as you would with any sort of wood product, really.
Now, you've done some work in conjunction with Michael. Can you tell us a bit about this?
We like to do specific one-off furniture pieces where part of the piece of furniture is actually sculpture and the other piece is a functional piece of furniture. So you can see that with the tables. The umbrella table is probably quite a good example of that, and that the leg of is the umbrella. And then it's a conventional table after that. The violin table, similar to that, it's probably a little bit more functional in that it's got a drawer in it, so that you can put all your stuff away in the drawer and you can use the drawer, but it still looks like a piece of artwork, but it's something that's quite functional.
And this is something that you really need to see in person, so where can we view your art and what are your contact details?
Yeah, well, you can see it at 514 Cambridge Road. I'm at Country Originals. And I also have a website, McCardell, which you can access and view photos of different pieces of work. But basically it's best to come into the gallery and have a look and see the stuff in person, and you get a much better idea of what it looks like and the 3D effect of it, so, as opposed to just looking at it from a photograph on a website.
Well, thank you so much, Kevin, for showing us your amazing art.
No problem at all.
So there you have it, 2 beautiful wood-based businesses in the same gallery. So make sure you pop over for a well worth it visit at 514 Cambridge Road.
Thank you for tuning in to this week's Popular Picks on Destination Central. We hope you've enjoyed the show, and from the team at TV Central, we wish you all a wonderful, happy Easter. See you next week.
This has been an Alpha Media production, a division of Television Media Group.